Thank you, Paul, and thank you, everybody, for coming out on a Friday afternoon. Freddie, we're 11 days, 19 hours, and 59 minutes into the process, in case anybody's tracking that. And, I'm really thrilled, that in that span of time that we've come to this point, where we've been able to bring a very good candidate onto campus. As Paul mentioned, associate head coach at the University of Nebraska Omaha. Mike Hastings has spent the day on campus with us here. It's been a very good process, I think, on both sides. And I'm going to turn it over to Mike and let him tell you a little bit about his interest in this opportunity, a little bit about the day, and then we'll stand for questions.
One second. See ya. Huh? Yeah, good. First of all, Kevin, this hockey world is a small world. If you haven't figured that out. First of all, I'd like to say it's been an experience that I've enjoyed up until this point immensely. To see the commitment that, in my opinion, is going forward with the program, and everything we talk about has a system that you have to go through, and this is one that we're going through today. I got in late last night, and we've been going from early this morning until just getting done having an opportunity to meet the athletes that make up this hockey program. And going all the way, I've had a relationship with Don Rose over the years. Looking at Troy Jetting, assistant coaches, the idea of being in the WCHA before at the University of Minnesota, being in the CCHA at UNO, and then progressing back to the WCHA. It's a special league, and its body is made up of special programs, and I think Minnesota State University of Mankato is a special program. And to have the opportunity to sit down with the president, to sit down with Kevin, get an opportunity to sit in front of some other administrators, and then have an opportunity to sit down with the athletes is one that I'm very proud of and very happy to have gone through up until this point. And I'm excited about the opportunity to come here and take a peek, and have them also turn around and take a look at you. Because as a candidate that they're hoping to bring the program to a level that their expectations have been pronounced since day one, to be considered for that position is something that I'm proud of and excited about. I've had an opportunity to work with a couple of real good hockey coaches, Don Lucia, Dean Blaze. Both have reached out. Don's been good about wondering how the process has gone, and so is Dean, and been very supportive. And again, you should be very proud of what you have here. Not only what it is right now, but the opportunity for growth in the future. And I just wanted to make sure to reach out to Kevin and the president and Rick and the individuals that I met today and say thank you for the opportunity. And this is going to be a special place for somebody to be able to take the reins. So, thanks.
Okay, questions for either Coach Hastings or Kevin Bison?
For either of you, what are you looking at for a timeline here for what have you been told for a decision? What are you told for, what are you trying to accomplish?
The president's the one that's been setting the timeline, so we'll have a chance, I think, to meet with him on his schedule. He was able to meet with Mike this afternoon. He's got some commitments this evening. I think he'll reconvene the group and sort of debrief on the happenings of the day and sort of set the timeline from there.
Another question?
The Blue Line Club membership, that's of course the hockey booster group, took membership tumble big time this past July, June, May, when all of that stuff came rolling out about the new conference. And it was quite a hit. So what do you think about this conference, the different WCHA that we're headed into?
Well, I'll go all the way back to being some of my months. I was in Omaha for 14 years. as a junior coach in the USHL. And the one thing that I know as a certain standard was, the idea of success and the people who follow success. And I think there's a little bit of an uncertainty when you look about the landscape of hockey right now. People are wondering what's going to happen in the Big Ten. People are wondering what's going to happen out in Hockey East with Notre Dame or whatever. They want to know what's going to happen in the new NCHC. And they want to know what's going to happen in the WCHA. I think, in my opinion, when you look at Minnesota State as far as an identity, we've been identified at the WCHA. So we're staying in the WCHA. Success, people want to be a part of something that's successful. And if you do things from a foundation standpoint of building something that's going to be good over a long time, I think the Blue Line Club membership will pick up. I think the people in the seats will pick up. I think the alumni will be proud to be able to fly MSU's flag. And I think if we can build on what has already been built here through Don, through Troy, and show a commitment that the university is showing right now to the WCHA and try to compete for championships, I think it's going to be a good league. There isn't, you watch the Final Four that just happened this last weekend, there's a lot of people in here, not that we can bet, but if you bet a wooden nickel at the beginning of the year that Ferris State and Union will be in the Final Four, you wouldn't have found too many people saying, okay, I'll take that. And so, I think it's kind of where you're at. And if you're in a position to compete for championships, I think you'll end up having support, interest, pride in what you're trying to do. And from what I've seen from the administration since I've been here, that's something that they want and expect.
What qualities do you bring that will make you a good head coach?
Those things have changed over the years. I think you've got to be a better listener. I think it's important that communication for the athletes is at an all-time high. They're always asking why, more than my 10-year-old son. The athletes are asking, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? They have to make light with that.
They have to make light with that so that when they put their, when they pull those sheets over their toes every night, it makes sense. So communication, to me, a baseline expectation of give me what you got. I'm not going to ask you to do anything more than you're capable of, but we might redefine what you believe you're capable of. And that goes from the social setting to the academics to the hockey side. And I think if you build that from a foundation, going back to what we talked about here, the idea of how we're going to compete in the league, I think the communication lines have to be open with your players so that you can achieve what you're trying to achieve in all three areas. And so if there's one thing, a communicator, a listener, and somebody that's going to set a standard that we have to abide by and one that we can be very proud of.
Coach, not many of us know much about you. Could you give us your background, kind of where you're from and what you've done, so we could...
You bet. I'm originally from Crookston, Minnesota. I played for Mike Lundy for the Crookston Pirates and in the old Section 8. And after that, I went and played a couple of years in the United States Hockey League. I played for Frank Serratori, who's now at Air Force Academy. And after that, my freshman year, I ended up going to St. Cloud State University and playing for Herb Brooks. And so my freshman year, I played for Herb. My sophomore year, I played for Craig Dahl. Fractured my lower vertebrae when we were playing out in Providence and didn't play anymore. And Craig was kind enough for me to continue my education and keep my scholarship on it. I started a little bit as an undergraduate coach with him. Gave me an opportunity to get into the coaching side of things. Was an assistant coach in Omaha in the USHL with Mike Genzel. The next year left, was a recruiting coordinator at St. Cloud State University. And then Mike and I had a parallel career path where Mike went to the University of Minnesota and I went back to the USHL and coached for 14 years in Omaha. And then went to the University of Minnesota for a year, worked under Don Lucia. And then when Dean got the job down at UNO, I went with him as his associate head coach. So as I've told a lot of people through this process, they've asked how do you get to where you're at? And I said, trying to learn from all the things that I've screwed up. Right? That's a pretty good basis, and then hopefully I've been able to surround myself with a lot of good people, and that's happened in my coaching career as well as my playing career, and it's been a basis of what my philosophies are going forward.
Brent, do you have a question?
There's been talk, obviously, from comments that you Blaze made about him being heir apparent in Omaha. What can you say to that?
If you know Dean at all, as Donnie would say, he's not going anywhere real soon. I guess the way I look at things is my job at UNO, as Brian Renfrew's job is our job is to make sure that Dean Blaze gets to stay at UNO as long as he wants. He's one of the all-time great college coaches that's ever been. And that's not saying anything about him as a human being, because he's twice as good as a human being as he's a coach. So I don't see Dean going anywhere, and Trev's very happy with where he's at there. So to me, it's about opportunities. And Dean's been very supportive of this process, and has been very supportive of me being down here and taking a look at this.
Another question, please? Okay. Right there.
I just had a comment, Coach. You recruited my son 11 years ago, and he wanted to play for you. And then he ended up staying in high school one more year. And ended up that next year he didn't need a power forward, so he went to Sioux Falls. But you were his first choice, and he's always spoke so highly of you. And I just want to let you know that. Just because, number one, you had a winning team, and number two, just the way you guys recruit down there. And that was Omaha. So just wanted to bring that up, and we appreciate you being there.
I appreciate that. And you know what, just like I had an opportunity to get in touch with the players here, we all hope we can have, when you're in a coaching side of things, you hope you can have a positive impact. Because I appreciate you making that point, and I know there's probably some people that are in here that can say something on the other side of that ledger. But as long as we're in the pursuit of what is best for the young men, both on the ice, off the ice, and what they're doing in between. Everybody forgets there's 24 hours in a day, and these guys are playing hockey for about 3 of it. And what are they doing for the other 21? And hopefully, those are the philosophies that stick with you for a long time.
Final question for Kevin.
Have you been offered the job?
No, I haven't. This is something that this has been a process, and it's one that we've had a lot of conversations on. It's gone incredibly positive, and just trying to continue in that process. If you look at it, getting in at 11:15 at night, and now we're at roughly 4:15. That's pushing the bus downhill pretty quick. And I've got a family to be concerned about. They've got a program to be concerned about, and we're just continuing on that process right now.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, everybody. We'll do one-on-ones over here. If you're interested.